Hi, it's Terence here. I thought I'd put together a nice little explainer video for wet lines and the different lines to take in the wet, some of the choices that you have in order to maximise what you can do in the wet without losing tons of time. So I'll just go ahead and draw a nice simple hairpin bend. Badly, doesn't matter, so heading in that direction. So in the dry, if I put together a quick look at a dry line, the standard line would be something like that, late apex maybe, exit, and the main thing is where the rubber on the track will be. So here we got like a heavy braking zone. This area will be absolutely caked in rubber from the tyres. It'll be ingrained into the surface of the track, and it'll be loads of rubber where the karts lay down the grip. So if you ever do a track walk, pay attention to where the rubber is. In the dry you want to be on it, because tyre rubber in contact with track rubber has loads more friction. However, in the wet it's completely opposite. If you've got rubber ingrained into the surface of the track, the water just sits on top of it like a film and separates your tyre from the track surface, which spells disaster. No grip. So what we have to do is search for parts of the track that are clean from rubber that's ingrained in the surface. Marbles on top of the rubber, not such a big problem in the wet. So you want the parts of the track where the grittiness of the track and the porosity of the track can give your wet tyres something to bite into. So the first part of a wet line is to find an area of the track to brake on that isn't caked in rubber, and the simplest thing to do is just head down on an inside line as if you're kind of on an overtaking route, and when you hit the brake you want to be away from where other karts in the dry are laying down rubber. So if you look at the track down the inside, it'll be clean. So that's the most important thing to start off with. If you do find yourself having to brake on the rubber, maybe someone's forced you onto that line because they're making a pass, or it's just after the start of the race, then you will find it very difficult to brake hard. So you have to take that into account. Be careful and expect to have to brake early. But on the inside line there, you can be quite aggressive with the brakes. So for wet line number one, we'll do the easiest one. So you get your braking done on the inside, and you can release the brake as you get towards the corner and then sweep out to the outside and drive as close to the outside of the corner as you can. That's quite a common wet line. So you can see we're staying away from that grey area of the normal racing line, and you're doing almost the whole line on fresh tarmac that's got no rubber ingrained in the surface. You're looking at also trying to straight line the exit so that you can exit the corner and reduce the chance of the rear wheels sliding as much as possible. So with this approach, you're kind of on the gas from about there to there. So that's not bad. You'll have good grip, the ability to exit the corner relatively quickly without the kart sliding, because in the wet, if the kart slides at the rear, starts to spin the rear wheels, you lose loads of time. And it's quite easy to do this line If you go a bit wide, you're safe, no problems. The probably more popular approach with drivers with a bit more fine control is to take the second line for the wet, just down the inside again, braking away from the rubber, let the kart drift out. Now we're on the outside away from the rubber here, but we're aiming for another really late apex. It's like a cutback line, like that. So in that instance, you do cross the regular line here, but there shouldn't be too much rubber there. And you're extending, if you can see, the straight line exit where you don't have to steer from here all the way up to here. So let's show you that, the big arrow. That can allow you to get on the power and get the kart straight nice and early. That could give you a much quicker exit. And there's plenty of guys who try line 2. If they haven't got the speed down enough, you can always abandon that line and head on to the first line. So if it goes a little bit wrong, you're not in really big trouble. And I think that's about it for taking a hairpin in the wet. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it enables you to go out and give it a try, have some experiments, find out for yourself how it feels. And if you want more detailed look at the wet driving techniques, get my book, Learn How to Master the Art of Kart Driving, available on Amazon. And that goes into real detail for lots of different types of corners and different approaches that you can take in the wet. Thanks very much.